Hey, welcome to a special episode of Taking the Time. I'm coming out of the gates hard and fast today, folks.
And here he is. It's our main man, Mr. Robert Newton, with us here. Well,
Mr. Mitchell himself.
He has defeated me in his collective and is officially official king. Sorry, we don't have anything for you.
All right, so what we're doing today, we have Mr. Newton on the show today to give a rundown of the Mitchell Air Commander. He is the first person to own this piece, as he had the opportunity to buy one of the prototypes, which I appreciate and graciously sent to him. And I thought he'd be a good person to give this a test run. He's very involved in the community, and he loves the Mitchell brand, so it just makes perfect sense. So, at this point, I think I'm going to stand back and let you guys, you two talk, and I'll just, throw something in every once in a while. But before we do that, should we do a wrist check?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Hey, two out of three ain't bad.
I'm going to pretend like I'm not wearing my Tissot, and I have a.
Let's just put this back up there.
It is. It's the Tissot that I've managed to destroy the chronograph on. So, but it still works. It is my daily beater, and I was out mowing the lawn. The show was actually scheduled. We were going to do it a few hours ago, but I kind of messed that up. So,
yeah,
you're welcome.
Well, all right.
Hello, everyone. Yeah, it's great to see everyone checking in today. That's fantastic. So,
yeah, we got some people in attendance today, which is
cheers to.
There you go.
Yours, yeah.
There you go.
All right. So I am going to turn the show over. We've done a wrist check, and you guys can do this however you want, and I'll throw in my 2 cents every once in a while, maybe, and we'll go from there.
All right, well, let me. What do you think?
Just slightly.
Ooh.
Oh, there you go,
folks. He has more Mitchells than I do.
Yeah.
Oh, just a few.
Yeah. Little twin. We got some twins, but
GCT, yeah.
How many cars have you bought, Brad? Now, yeah. Wow, that is a fantastic cloud. GCT is something else.
Yeah,
I've seen. Yeah. You're right. My left, the top left. That's really cool. I know that one's the American flag dial. It's kind of muted with the blue. Yeah. And that's really good looking.
I actually, if anybody's
a lefty too, so
I actually have another dial in I think it's brass, so I could do another variation of that.
Yeah, that's cool. I know we've talked about that one. That's
yeah. And this was interesting when I was working with Brad and doing this one. I wanted to do a field watch, but wanted to look a little bit different than other field watches. So I suggested the numbers. Oh, just do the small 15, 30, and 45. And he's all like, "No, that's going to look horrible. That ain't going to work."
I said, I'll do it on the rendering, but I don't think it's going to look good. And when I sent it to him, he's like, "That looks pretty good." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. That's why you do stuff anyway, just to see.
Yeah. So actually, and that came out really, really good. I really like that one. And then the GMT.
Oh, that is another
came out too.
I didn't want to send that one off.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. It's tough. It's hard to get it on camera, but that is really impressive. It's kind of a
pictures of it online. The globe is on a relief, and 24-hour GMT, really sweet.
Yeah,
twist movement in there.
And that really cool second hand going, and there's just everything was so well thought out on that. It was so well planned out. When I saw the pictures, I was just like, wow, that's I was like, well done. I mean,
I think a few people have been like, ooh, what is that?
I've got quite a few gotten quite a few comments about the GMT. So I just keep referring them over to Mitchell Timepieces and go, there you go.
Yeah.
So go from there. All right. So this Air Commander.
Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Sweet little piece. Really like this one. The design of it. Really good. The sapphire crystal is just kind of amazing. Curved sapphire crystal going around on that.
That distortion.
It is cool. It's
very, very legible. The indices are all raised, and with the black background, super easy to read on stuff. The date window at the 3, and then the moon phase down there at the bottom.
And then that pop of color with that red matchstick hand on there. I mean, just sets it off. And
yeah. And I love that the handset that's on there. I think it's like a cathedral type handset. Really goes with it. The beveled case coming in kind of gives a nod to the old the first pilot, the Cartier Santos 1904. So it gives you that kind of vintage turn of the century type vibe to it on stuff. 40 millimeters across, 44 lug to lug. It has the hidden lugs on there, so it's not sticking out.
How are they? Can you get to those pretty? Is it a? I know. I always, because I have a paw and not a wrist. So I know sometimes I feel like I'm having to like pick at the leather away to try to get to the pins and things.
Well, yeah, and I did change this out. I put it on a crocodile strap that I had.
That's really
I ordered a special one for it coming soon, but it'll take a couple more weeks. So I did change them out already. Change the strap out, and so it is kind of easy to get to. The clearances there under the lug are pretty tight, so you can't get anything too thick in there.
Right.
And I don't, unless you have a super thin NATO, it's probably not going to work because the clearances are kind of tight.
I actually specifically said, I specifically said, design these lugs so where you can't put a NATO on this watch.
Like Brad did this, I think, with slight malice towards me. The only thing that he did not add to it was instead of the 4, it's the 4 I's instead of the I, V, and Roman numeral, which the 4 I's, I know it just drives me crazy. It's incorrect, but the big brands do it, and they sell lots of watches, and they have more money than I do. That's not. I don't set the bar real high in that category. So
I'm actually going to have a special one made with a Roman numeral I.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. So.
And then the crown is that turbine. Man, it's kind of hard to get the video in there, but it's a little turbine in there. If you see some of the pictures on Mitchell Timepieces, he's got a great shot of that. So that's a custom, little turbine crown.
I'm gonna take myself out of the show, and that'll put you guys in the middle, and you can see the crown in the top left of the picture. So I'll do that.
What's the crown? I know if you can still hear us, Brad, but I know what was the design was off a 7. What engine was it? The new.
It's the turbine engine from the 787 is what that's what I was looking at when I was drawing.
It's really, I mean, if I've seen the technical videos and the things of that, and it's really, it's wild looking because it doesn't look like conventional, like a fan, like a compressor fan in a jet you normally see. But
it was a true innovation of turbine blades.
It's completely reinvented the turbine engine again. And so it's amazing that, you pay homage to the original, but while keeping it 21st century with 21st century Swiss movement, sapphire crystal, it.
And some people have a hard time with that. Well, that's something from a brand new plane. I'm like, this is a brand new watch, boys and girls. That's the idea. Like, I've got a lot of. I try to pack a lot of history in there, whether it's past, present, or
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not a reproduction or an homage. Even it's
right. It's
in its own self. So, but it does pay tribute to the past and present with aviation, which
Well, kind of like what I've said is that it's kind of a nod to the Santos, but. If you look at the Santos from 1904, it's more of a tank style, and there's a lot of design differences. So it's just kind of a nod to that, not necessarily any kind of homage to it and stuff. But like the Tourneau style case, very, very dressy, elegant. Not a whole lot of case styles like this. Kind of out there, very vintage looking, super classy look to it. It's not thin.
Yeah.
Well, neither am I.
If you go to the middle of the case, it's just under 12 millimeters thick. Yeah. If you go from the top of the crystal to the bottom of the lugs on the outside, it's like 14.4.
Yeah,
but there is that curvature there, so that that's where you lose
a little bit of curve to it. But so you can tell you're wearing something. It's not like a real lightweight, thin piece.
I like that. I mean, I want to.
Yeah,
I don't care for titanium. I don't care for lightweight alloys and metals and things, even though those would be more kind of aviation purist, but.
Yeah,
when I'm wearing a watch, I want to know that I'm wearing it. It's a big old piece. It's there. You could double as a weapon, and it's but that looks like it actually can lend itself to being dressed up or down based on a strap change. If you had a two-piece NATO or something, to all the way to you could wear it, to the ball game, or you could wear it to your wedding. It's it really, I think that's going to be a really versatile piece.
I think if you can get a Milanese mesh on it, I think that would be a good way to make it a little more casual. But I don't know.
Spoiler alert! I'm going to try when it does come in when it comes in for me to review. I do have one that I'm going to try to fit to it, and we're going to see. I'm going to try some different stuff because I have paws instead of wrists, so I need a little bigger stuff to.
Yeah, definitely a beautiful piece. A little on the classy, dressy side. However, I think it fits a multitude of different wrists. Whether you have large wrist, small wrist, because of where the lugs are and the hidden lugs, you have a smaller wrist. It's still going to articulate and be fine. And if you have a larger wrist, it's hefty enough that you feel like you're actually wearing something. And stuff. So great design feature to it. Just a great little piece.
So question now, how easy is it to set the moon phase?
The moon phase.
Sometimes I know I ran that by Brad possibly when that does come out for its final version, do a full moon cycle from here to whenever, and kind of.
Yeah, the moon phase, you go one direction for the moon phase. I don't know if you can see it down there turning.
Yeah, it's moving. The moon's coming up.
You go one direction for that, and then the other direction for the date. So really really super simple. So not a whole lot of complication to that. Makes it real user friendly kind of stuff. So
is it best to set it to like a full moon or?
What I did was when I got it is I just looked up online what the phase of the moon was at, and just went ahead and set it there. It's kind of a waning crescent moon, so you get there about.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of it's kind of like close enough because when the next full moon comes out, if you're wearing that particular watch, you just set it to full, and
yep,
or new, and you just set it to no moon, and
yeah,
you're good to go.
Now, my issue is that I have so many that I wear in a different.
Yeah.
I don't keep them wound, so I mean,
watch winder watch.
But setting them setting it is not real difficult. I typically, I'll pick out my watch and then I'll set it that day. Make sure it's wound up and set it that day with stuff. And so it's not too complicated to do that.
That's really.
If you wanted to put it on a watch winder, you definitely could.
I know that goes back to the winder versus the let it run down. I'm in the let it run down category.
Yeah.
It saves wear and tear, but on a moon phase, I could see the.
Yeah.
But I mean, really, you're only doing it for that. So I guess it's a matter of personal preference. If it's not really complicated, then, pretty much if you're watching this, then obviously you have access to the internet and you can figure out what it's supposed to be that day. And
I mean, it literally just took me a few seconds to look it up and set it. And so it wasn't a cumbersome, difficult thing. That was one thing that I was that I was thinking about was, going, oh, okay, great. So I have to set the moon phase. Only took a few seconds, not a big deal.
That's really cool. I'm really glad to hear that, because that's I'm giving a nod to Brad there, because that's just impressive, and that you should make it that.
I've wanted to make a moon phase for a very long time. And originally I was looking at the first moon phase movement I got was a STP. I don't know what number it was, but they actually quit making it. But you had to have like a pusher inside of the case.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's not going to do it.
And I've had some of those from years ago, back in the 70s and 80s, and you had to have a pusher and you had to have this, and there's like 3 or 4 different things you got to do in order to get there. And it was like, after a while, you're just going, forget it. I'm not setting the moon.
You could set your watch or go diffuse a bomb or something somewhere. It's like,
yeah.
This
one's super easy to kind of keep track of and to set those. No pushers involved or anything. So really easy to set. And so I appreciated that. And when I got it and started setting the thing.
I just created a little code here for my my friends.
That's there you go. I don't know how you did that. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, I figured, and I've done some special codes. Now, if you were a Raider pre-order, you have an email for a special code, and that is above and beyond anything that anybody else can get on the pre-order for the watch. And there's some other codes out there. There's a special group of people that get a little bit less than the Raider pre-order guys, and then everybody else has access in the right groups to a $50 off coupon. Now, just be aware, these codes expire on April the 15th. I don't want to do a Kickstarter, but I'm probably going to do a Kickstarter, if you guys know what I mean. So we're trying to skip that or just run it just for the heck of it. But this code will get you a better price than the Kickstarter price for the watch. It's on pre-order now for $725. This code gets you $50 off, which puts it at $675. It is a Sellita, a Swiss automatic movement moon phase, true moon phase, not AM, PM, blah, blah, blah. It's a true moon, just kind of like we were talking about. So,
yeah,
go buy my watch.
No. Well, for anybody who doesn't build or mod watches, an automatic moon phase, a Swiss automatic moon phase, is not an inexpensive movement.
No,
it's kind of like it's not quite where an Swiss automatic chronograph would be, but it's around this. They're not inexpensive. So that's
actually, if you're looking at price of movements, the 7750, the Valjoux chronograph, is about the same price as this Sellita moon phase.
Yeah. They are complicated movements. And
Yep. Really love them. The other thing that I would say is, yes, go buy it. Very much worth the price on that. Super accurate, beautiful piece. Love the fit and finish on it. Beautiful piece. The other thing that I would mention as far as Mitchell timepieces go, at least 4 of the ones sitting here are custom pieces. Brad does a great job at custom pieces too. And so if you have an idea, you think that you might want something custom, just a one-off for you, message him and he'll create it. I mean, that's how several of these, the B-17 here, which was in honor of my grandfather who was in World War II, worked on the B-17. I think that was the first custom that Brad did, and just designed the whole thing. And we talked for hours on the design of the piece and stuff, and it came out super, super nice. But great piece there. We also talked about the GCT. I think we were the first one that started talking about that GCT, which again goes back to that World War II era, kind of stuff. And then just recently, the Field Watch, as well as the Traveler, the GMT. What I've noticed is if Brad messages me and go, "Hey, I have an idea for a new watch," usually by the end of the discussion, I'm out some money. Money for me.
An idea for a new watch, you just feel your back. You're feeling your wallet get thinner.
I see 2 holes in that watch box, and I'm like, what can we do?
Still 2 more to go. Maybe a chronograph or something. I'm not a huge fan of chronographs, but maybe a cool chronograph or something. I don't know.
He makes one. He does make one.
Yeah, but he does a great job at it. I mean,
the U2 is a chrono.
Yeah,
that's the dial.
So and you can walk through. You can design it from basics all the way up. Dial design, the whole thing. And so real super easy process. And at the end, you get a one-off piece that's custom for you. And so I really appreciate that too about Brad, about Mitchell timepieces. They do a great job of doing that.
Yeah, and I mean, like for example, the GCT. So like, he has one, I have one, but mine doesn't have a second hand. His has a different second hand than any other one I've made. I have another one right here. It's actually Rommel's.
Oh, sweet! He got one.
Yeah. And I'll show you.
That looks good. What's the size of that case? That looks like that would fit me pretty well.
It's a 44. It's a Warthog case.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that does.
So here's his, and you see that white needle second hand. That's the the difference there.
Yeah.
and I won't put that second hand on any other watch, so that kind of differentiates his from everybody else's. And then I've got another custom order for a GCT that actually it'll say Mitchell above the 24-hour spot or the 12 o'clock traditionally, and it'll have GCT just under the Mitchell logo. Yeah, those are ETA 6498 movements that have been machined and modified to have a 24-hour gearing. So
it's 24 hours. Just it's only for the hour hand is on a 24-hour scale. The minute hand still is conventional.
Right.
So that I mean, that's just crazy to me. That's just the next level. So I mean, somebody that's really, really great at math did that. So I cannot take credit for that.
Well, it's it's the same when you look at a Hamilton 4992B and a Hamilton 992B. It's just two gears.
Yeah.
But I actually popped these gears off to see the movement, and because the post that holds the 12-hour gear is fatter, they had to machine it down and make it thinner so that they could make it the right size so they could double the teeth. So I had to know that. Like I had to go through there and see that and like, oh, okay, that's.
So you took it apart. You started taking it apart.
Just the top gears. They just slide on.
Yeah. Why not? Yeah. So
it's. I mean,
it's a super special custom movement. So you just decide to. Yeah, well, let's see what's going on under the hood here.
It's literally just this piece.
Yeah.
It's no big deal.
Yeah. No, that's cool though. And you're
this is not a good movement. I don't just finger movements like that. So that everybody knows.
I'm not going to comment on finger.
That's the black
STP 613 with the gunship dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is the only Swiss movement, I think. Gunship. Yeah. I've only made like
you do variants also. I mean per
so that's the only Swiss that's the only Swiss gunship. And then Sean has a Miyota version of it in an original Hercules case. And then there's only
I have a warthog that's not a warthog, but it is, and it's just kind of it's special for me.
Yeah, this is the original gunship. I only made 2 of these, and this is one of them. It's mine.
Yeah. So other than the production pieces, the Raider, and now the Air Commander, a lot of these are customized. And stuff. And so like, I know when I did the gunship, I asked for a Swiss movement. And he goes, yeah, I've got a Swiss movement. And so he did the Swiss movement in there. And stuff. So, I mean, it's, he does a lot of custom stuff for you and you can make it work.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting because I saw another Warthog online. I know mine is different than all the other ones, it's I like. And what color for the seconds do you have on that? Green. Yeah,
Green.
I have like an orange.
That's the very first Warthog.
Yeah, I have a reddish orange on mine. It's just everything. They're all tailor made for the customer.
Exactly.
I only made a handful of these Warthogs,
Well, mine's different, but
yeah, you have a different case.
Cool. Exactly. It's like, and you can. It's interesting because mine's special because it just comes in mine's completely completely different case. It doesn't look that much different than the other ones, I also have the kind of diamond style crown instead of the ball crown, which was eating into my hand until I wore it enough, and then I built a callus up on the back of my hand. So it's, it's.
Well, that's why I asked Brad to do on the field watch the left side, because I'm tired of running it into the back of my hand all the time.
I was going to do that GMT, but the I couldn't flip it because of the insert in the chapter ring.
Yeah.
I forgot what it's called. Yeah.
Where the legs, it just wouldn't line up right.
Yeah.
Well, that's something for another episode. It's something you could look it up online if you want. In the comments, let us know if you want to hear. There's a lot of components inside of all kinds of different watches. Some will have a chapter ring, some don't. Some people even on here might not even really know what a chapter ring is or what it does or any of that. It's if you guys want any more technical kind of geek speak type of stuff, we can do that and completely nerd out and probably bore most of you to sleep.
99.9% of it. It has the same effect as the survival rate of COVID.
Yeah, well,
99 point.
And but it's. If you want to go down it in technical aspects, there's so many. I'm sitting here with watches in various states of repair or creation or modification and everything. It's a disaster, right? But tools and everything else. But we'll go there if you want to talk about.
Not today,
not today, but in the future, if you want to talk, hey, how do you oil fill a quartz watch? Do not. Okay, first
of all, that's going to be a Brian by himself episode.
Necessarily, but don't oil fill an automatic.
Oh, this one's going south real quick, folks.
Thanks, Zach. Yep, it's we are the watch nerds. That's I'm a big nerd right here.
Robert, any final words? I think this is probably a good spot to wrap this pig in a blanket.
Just that it's a beautiful piece. If you're considering getting that Air Commander, definitely do it. You're not gonna be upset with that whatsoever. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece. You're going to be super happy with it. Fit and finish is great. Jump on some of these codes and prices off. I know what goes into that watch and how much it is. That's a good price. That's a really great price for this watch. And so if you're considering it, do it.
Yeah, and I don't mind saying it just to get the prototypes and to get where I am to try to offer it and send it around. It was I think $3,200. It was over $3,000 to get me here. So
it's not an inexpensive project, but when you look it up, look it up against some comps, the Swiss automatic moon phase, you're looking at over $1,000 about every time.
Yeah, easy. And,
unless you found something that just somebody couldn't sell and it's finally on a clearance rack from 2010. You never. It's just it doesn't exist.
It's still not cheap.
No, they're not.
Automatic moon phase watches are not common. And they're not economical per se. I think the price I'm offering this watch is an exceptional value. Humble opinion from the owner, of course, but
I would agree. It's
I didn't consider my time in sitting down and drawing this and making the adjustments and getting it exactly how I wanted it. And just before we shut this down, I'm working on 3 corrections on the watch. The loom, I don't know. I think they just didn't run the loom thick enough on the prototypes, but it will have stronger loom. It is BGW9. I think it's just a lighter layer or a lighter printing on the prototypes. So we're fixing that so that thing can light up the freaking night. Framing, and I accepted prototypes without the framing around the moon phase and the date just so I could get going, because I got caught up in the Chinese New Year with these prototypes. So that's kind of where we are there. And then I want a better strap. And Robert, you can speak to the factory strap if you want. I'm personally, I don't love it. It's okay, but I feel like it should be better than.
Well, I'd say the same thing. The OEM strap that came with it, it was okay. I'm like Brad. I'm kind of a strap guy, and so I've got a bunch of different straps, and it's like, I think a nice black hornback would look great on this. So that's what I ended up ordering. But the OEM strap is okay. I've seen worse. I've seen better, but the better straps that I've seen OEM, you're talking, $1,500, $2,000 pieces, and they'll come with a better strap. So for that price range, I think it's pretty fair.
I'm looking at a Horween or something comparable in black with white stitching. It should have white stitching, especially for the black watch, which is
spoiler alert. Let me try that too.
I ordered an ostrich, I think. I know me and you were talking about it when I was doing it. I think I ordered an ostrich for it.
Yeah, I think you ordered an ostrich leg with white stitching and
black ostrich.
Yeah, and then I got the hornback with white stitching.
Yeah, and I'll probably get a black croc for it at some point too, because I think that's going to be the sweet spot. You're onto something with that hornback as well. So
I want to try the kangaroo. Black, the white, the one I kind of call it the tuxedo. I have it on the white dial Raider, and I'll be playing with that good with straps and things like that. Even though it's not my favorite thing to do, but it's it'll be interesting the way to try to get some half decent pictures. Everybody knows my phone is old and I need to update it. Yeah, I know Brad's shaking his head like, yeah, Brian, don't take pictures of it, please. You're gonna make it look like flaming garbage. But but just try to bear with me. And but I just kind of ideas, dress it up, dress it down, see how it goes, what fits, what doesn't fit. Like Robert said, it's the tolerances are pretty snug. So some things are just not even in the realm of possibility that, if you get a big fat bracelet or something, it's just not going to work.
Yeah.
I mean, I won't try, but I'm not going to destroy it or start milling the case to make things fit. Trust me. I mean, that's definitely not my wheelhouse.
Celine Driver, Dane, has reviewed the watch. I shared that everywhere. And shared it from Mitchell too, I think, as well. We've just did this one, Robert's review. The next one is Random Rob. Tons of viewers, so he's getting it next. After he's done with it, Brian, you're getting it, and then I think our UK
farther down the list.
Hey man, get 50,000 viewers and we'll talk.
Hey, you too. Right. I'm glad we have any viewers, and it's great. We have some awesome, really great viewers that contribute a ton.
Yeah, I mean, if you're watching this and you haven't went on taking the time Watch Talk on Facebook and given us a like, go ahead and do that. We don't do this. We don't do the YouTube that much. We're just not worried about the YouTube subscribers for some stupid reason, but we're hitting the Facebook angle. So get up on Facebook, taking time, Watch Talk, and give us some love, give us a like. We're almost at 1,000. We're close to 900, I should say. We're well over 800. But the biggest thing is we consistently get, about 400 or 500 views per video. So I went and looked at the episode I popped on by myself when I first got the Air Commander. That was over 400 views last time I looked. So
nice.
Hey, we're doing it.
Cool.
These people are looking at the watch.
It gets it out there. I mean, we've had some that have had over 3,000 views. We've had some that were like 26 views, not 2,600.
That was old stuff. That was old.
260. Some old stuff was just like, yeah, like we be like, oh man, we got 30 people to watch this, and now we have some really great viewers, including Robert, who has a fantastic collection also, and it's kind of, we try to be different than other people who review or have a channel. It's just not.
Brian doesn't need to try to be different.
Special.
Now that there's a third person on here, I can make some jokes.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go.
All right, guys. It's probably a good idea to shut this down at this point, though. We're at 40 minutes, so I don't want people to get too bored with us. But get on over to taking the time. Watch Talk. Like us on Facebook. We've had Mitchell timepieces scroll on the bottom of the page this whole episode. I just created a code, triple TTT 50, all caps, $50 off your Air Commander order, and that'll be our show code. So
until April 15th.
Until April 15th, right?
Used to be Sunday, but that's
get it in. Get your order in now. If you need no interest through PayPal, if you have PayPal credit, you can do 6 months no interest. Once you click PayPal, that's an option at the very bottom, so you can do it that way. I don't care. I get paid no matter how you do it, so send it on over. But get your order in seriously before midnight, April 15th, because that's when all those codes die, and that's when the Kickstarter goes live. So
great.
Don't delay. All right, guys. Got any final words?
No, I'm just happy to be here.
I'll just
earlier time helps folks in the UK. That's good, which is good for our friends at Risk Check Monthly. Fantastic.
You know what?
Keep up the great work.
I'm gonna say this. Risk Check Monthly, Sean, Rich, and all of our elite guys have really gotten behind this watch, and it's just, what I'm sad for is all the American supporters of Mitchell that haven't stepped up compared to the UK guys. So, I thought we were number one, but I might have to secede to the UK. I don't know. Might have to start making Tornado watches or something. I don't know.
I just appreciate you having me on and talking about the watch a bit and kind of my passion and the enthusiasm I have for stuff, and I really appreciate it and appreciate what you're doing with Mitchell. Keep it up.
Yeah, Robert, it's always great to see you. Always fun. And yeah, speaking about UK, Brad, if you ever do, I've got to say it's one of the most beautiful machines ever created, Spitfire.
Oh,
if you do that one, I think the people of the UK will they might knight you. I'm not sure.
There's that Delta Wing thing too. I can't remember what it's called now, but anyway, I've got another episode idea for Robert to jump on the show, but we'll talk about that off the air. So we are signing off, taking the time.
Until next time. Thank you.